has been a tremendous pleasure, and Hype literally, including the logo, would not be what it is without Mr. Holzer. So thank you, Adam, and if you'd like to say a few words.
Yeah, thank you very much. So a lot of you probably don't know the story. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Adam Holzer. I'm a young professional. I got involved with the HIA about 4.5 years ago. And the reason I got involved with the HIA is because I was working as an employee and I needed to do some networking and I wanted to meet good people. And I got involved with the HIA. Little did people know that I snuck in as a non-member for like the first 7 or 8 months of the HIA with like just sneaking under the radar. Like I wouldn't do the sign-in sheets and like I would just show up just to show up. But I was showing up to all these different committees and everything. So I was like, all
Don't
right,
encourage that, by the way, but
I'm
go
not
on.
encouraging. There's no more sign-in sheets. But Greg Pajak, who's not on this call right now, he might hop on in a little bit. I know he was having some computer problems, but Greg and I founded Hype about 3 years ago. And quick little funny story. I was at a Danford's event in Port Jeff for the HIA about, I want to say it was about 3.5, 4 years ago. And I met Greg there. It was an early morning event. It was about maybe 7:30 a.m. And am I breaking up a little bit?
Oh, you're pretty good.
Okay. So I went up to Greg and I remember the exact spot. I went up to Greg and I said, hi, my name is Adam Holzer. I know that you're the co-chair of the HIA's Young Professional Committee, and I'd like to get involved and volunteer. And Greg was like a total cold hard ass, like showed no emotion at 7:30 a.m. And I walked up to this guy because I just wanted to get involved in, just volunteering and getting involved. And then 2 weeks later, and I had no idea what I did wrong. Maybe Greg felt like I was just coming up to him to pitch him, or maybe I had too much energy in the morning. But long story short, I went up to Greg about 2 weeks later at Insignia Steakhouse because the HIA had another event there. And I just went up to him and I said, hey, I don't know if I said or did anything wrong to you, but I really wanted to get involved with, what you're doing. And when I approached you about it, you kind of didn't really pay me any mind or attention. And no joke, it was literally a 180 flip of the switch. Greg was so welcoming and open, and he apologized to me. He's like, hey, I don't know if it was just a rough morning or an off morning for me. But from that day, Greg has become one of my best friends. And when I remember interviewing for Hype, and it was before it was actually Hype, it was the HIA's Young Professionals. And I remember interviewing back when Lisa was at the HIA and just a bunch of other people. Connor was still there. And I remember the day that I got the position co-chair, and I had no idea what I was in store for. I had no idea. And I got to work with Greg. I got to really see, like, I call Greg an alien. Like, if you guys haven't gotten to work with Greg or meet Greg yet, he's just an alien in a good way. And I remember us sitting there, we were talking about, like, what we can call the Young Professional Committee, because we want to be called a committee and all these other things. And we came up with Hype, which was HIA's Young Professionals Entrepreneurs, a cool name, Hype. And then we came up with the saying, earn it, master it, make a difference. Originally, it was make it, master it, make a difference. But long story short, I've grown great friendships with all of you. Meg, you're one of the first Hype Squad leaders. Tyler, I remember when you came in. Tim, I remember when we brought you in. Diego, I remember when we brought you in. Rick, you were one of the first people to come in. And Connor was forced to be in because he was a liaison, but look where you are now. But I just want to say thank you very much to everyone that has given me the opportunity and given me the stage to create Hype. Obviously it hasn't been the same over the past year, but I'm really optimistic that both the new co-chairs, literally the new co-chairs, Connor and Meg, are going to make this into a phenomenal, organization, the way that it has been. And I couldn't be more proud to hand it down to Connor and Meg, knowing that Hype is going to be in good hands. And I am still going to be involved, but this is kind of cool, to see it go to the next generation of young professionals. So just a major thank you to all the supporters. Tom, you support everything that we do. Tony Joy, you've been great with everything. And I'm really looking forward to getting back in person with everybody. And I'm a hugger, so when we can do hugs again. But Connor, thank you again for making this an easier transition for me. Meg, I'm excited for them to announce you as the new co-chair. And just once again, thank you all for giving me the opportunity to do this, because without you, I wouldn't have been able to.
I think I realized you're not sick. I think you're just having hype withdrawals already. So maybe that's why you're feeling a little under the weather. But
Yeah.
even though it's a little awkward for people to clap in their office, if you're in your office or at home with people listening, let's give Adam a quick little round of applause. So thank you very much, Adam, for all that you've done. Much appreciated.
I really appreciate that, everyone. And you're in good hands. You have a great event master, you have great co-chairs, and you have a great hype squad. So thank you again. And I'm not feeling well, so I'm gonna go lay down. But if you're not connected with me already on LinkedIn, please connect with me. I'd love to meet you. And just do good. Keep doing good.
Thank you, Adam.
Thanks, Adam.
You're welcome.
So without further ado, Adam did mention we do have some other exciting news. Meg Ryan from Emerald Document Imaging will be the new co-chair alongside with me as we help make Zoom great again and disrupt the Zoom world. So if we can give Meg a little round of applause, and Meg, if you'd like to say a couple words.
Thank you. Yeah, I was like, Adam, don't hop off. I have nice things to say about you. But good morning, everyone. My name's Meg Ryan, as Connor mentioned, from Emerald Document Imaging, and I'm so excited to become the new co-chair along with my good friend Connor. And I really just want to say a huge thank you to Adam and Greg, who really put so much time into making hype what it is and what it means to HIA. They've really set the footprint for the group, and they set the bar very high and brought everyone together to this incredible group. I'm excited to keep the hype going and have a great time doing it with everyone here and continue to grow the group. And I want everyone to give me a good hype.
Hype.
Unmute yourselves.
Hype.
But thank you guys, and I'm so excited.
We need Jason back for the
Yeah,
woo
where
and
is he?
the loudness.
I'll get to that later. I'll get to that later.
So a couple more quick housekeeping items. And the good thing about our smaller intimate groups is we do get to know each other a little bit better. So in a few minutes, we'll have about 30 seconds, 45 seconds apiece for everyone to give who they are and what they do and why they do it. But before that, Tony Joy, do you have any HIA updates you would like to
Hi, everyone.
present? Bye, Adam. Thank you again. So long. Feel better.
Good luck, Meg.
Feel better, Adam.
Bye, Meg. Congratulations again. Bye, Tony Joy. Bye.
Bye, Adam.
Well, again, I was just going to kind of come in. Thanks, Connor. Just again, thank Adam for his time and dedication and commitment as a volunteer. All of our committee co-chairs are volunteers. I know we have some other on here right now. I see Alex and Dan right now. I don't know if I can see other people on here too, but you know, as well as Meg and Connor, this is we truly appreciate the work that they do in helping to put together this programming each and every month. So again, I know Adam was such a pivotal and instrumental part in helping to really build this hype young professionals group, and so we're really appreciative of that, as well as excited to welcome Meg into this new role, and we're excited to see her grow and really help all of you as well as other young professionals in their professional journey and in growing as well. So we're excited and we're thankful for that. Just a couple of programming things I wanted to just give you guys a heads up about. So actually this Thursday, we have our 27th annual economic summit. And so that is surveying the Long Island business community. We have this is again, our 27th annual. So it is looking at PKF O'Connor Davies economic survey and opinion poll. So it'll highlight real estate market revenue, prices, profit, local and national confidence rating, headcount and salary adjustments. So really kind of looking at the projection of 2021. So I encourage you to come and join us for that. And then we also have, starting this year, we started doing our the fourth Friday of every month. We have networking and trivia. So if you like kind of trivia and just an opportunity to network and end the week with some other HIA-LI members, we encourage you to come and join us. This month's theme is March Madness, kind of a twist off of March Madness, and it's just a sports themed related. So if you like sports and you just want to kind of come and talk with other people, we encourage you to come to that. And then on April 1st, we do have our CEO forum featuring Greg Galdi, who is the founder and president of Custom Computer Specialists. So we just want to encourage you to attend if you can as well. It's a really great inside look at just the CEO's journey and their philanthropy and how they've pivoted through COVID, things like that. So those are just a couple of the things that we're doing right now. Again, the HIA has been very active and continues to be active in helping Suffolk County and Nassau County, just helping to talk a little bit more about COVID, spreading the word about getting the vaccine, things like that too. And we'll just continue to keep you guys as members informed and help in any way that we can. So if you have any questions about anything I said or just anything in general, please feel free to reach out to me and I'll be happy to help. But otherwise, I'll pass it back to Connor. And again, good morning and hope everyone has a great day.
Thank you, Tony Joy. So as most of you probably know, the committees are only a small part of what HIA does. There's 15 committees total now, Tony Joy, is that correct? Yes, no, maybe, give or take. And one of the committees and one of the things we'd like to do going forward is highlight a committee and highlight member hypesters companies at each committee. So for today, we have Alex McPherson, who is the co-chair to the recently combined mentoring and membership committee. So Alex, if you would like to just a couple minutes on what that committee is and if people would like to get involved with that committee as well.
Absolutely. Before I do, congrats to Meg, first of all. And for those of you who weren't part of HYPE, before Adam and Greg sort of changed it around, it was not what it is currently. It was not the level of energy, I think, is probably the biggest difference, along with a whole bunch of other ones. So kudos to those guys for really changing it and making the rest of us step up our game a little bit. One of the events that I went to when we could still all get together in person, Adam had his own walk-up music when he was being introduced, and I thought, I am just not keeping up here. So, good stuff all around. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Alex McPherson. I'm a financial advisor with UBS based out of Melville. I have the honor and benefit of being one of the co-chairs of the membership committee with Lisa Mitnick. Ann Morrison has recently been merged into our group, formerly mentoring and networking. If you're familiar with that committee, sort of got merged into membership. Really what Connor had asked me to do is just spend maybe 2-3 minutes just kind of talking a little bit about it, making sure you guys are up to date on kind of what we've been doing and sort of what the membership committee does. But highlights our membership committee is a twofold purpose. Really, it's to grow, retain the membership of the Hop Hog Industrial Association, but knowing all of us have day jobs, if you will. It's about trying to find ways to connect with the people that you want to talk to either enhance what you do for your career or to find new ways to do business, or any of the above. And you got to have a little bit of fun along the way too. Along the way, we had 3 subcommittees. There was the walk in the park, which has sort of been reimagined. We have a monthly spotlight on a business that's in the industrial park. They get to spend a few minutes talking about kind of what they do. People can pose questions to them before the meeting, after the meeting, whatever the case might be. So you're still getting a chance to interact with different businesses within the Hop Hog industrial area. We have the outreach group, which any new or prospective members, somebody from the membership committee should be reaching out to them, introducing themselves. Again, very soft, easy way to get to know new people. You can be as surgical with that as you like. But it's, again, trying to find, like to Connor mentioned, there's a lot involved with the association that I find most people aren't aware of. So it's a good way to kind of get involved, understand what's happening. If you just want to sign up and pay your membership fee and then do nothing else, good luck. I don't think that's the best way to approach it, but connecting with people, understanding what they do, is really the best way to go about it on a one-on-one basis. And when things sort of get back to normal, we also do the ambassadors. For those of you who've been to events where there are members standing there welcoming you, all the different pieces. Again, great way to meet people. We'll be getting back to that hopefully sooner rather than later. But the mentoring part is what I just wanted to spend one more minute on. So Ann Morrison, if you don't know her, fantastic person, has amazing choices of hair color that would rival Rick's wardrobe. But one of the best people that I've met in a long time. Just a fantastic individual. And I think part of what that subsect of the membership committee really does is, if you want to grow your business, if you want to find new ways to do it, Anne's a great person to connect with. Just have a conversation. What am I trying to do? How do I want to go about it? It's a good back and forth, and really understanding better ways to grow. So with that, if anybody's got questions or wants to reach out, happy to talk, set up some time, you let me know. Thanks for having me, Connor.
Thank you very much, Alex. It was a pleasure. And definitely, Dan, at some point, we'd love to have you as a spotlight. Anybody else that wants to spotlight their company, we can definitely talk about that as well. Get you a little exposure for what you guys do.
Connor, just one more comment. I mean, having seen some of the other people who've just come on the meetings, I know Dan's been on a couple of ours, Tony. If you ever want to just join for one, you can kind of see what it's about. Feel free. We typically do first Friday of every month. Occasionally, depending on holidays, it might be different, but you can always get on the invite list to be up to date on whatever we're doing.
Excellent. Appreciate that, Alex. So now we will toss it over to all of you. Often we know the Zooms can get a little dreary, and we're trying to keep them lively and keeping people engaged and talking and interactive. So at this point, we'll go through one by one. Let's keep it fairly short, 30 seconds at the most, just so we all know who's in the room with each other. And as soon as you're done with your who you are and what you do, drop your name, drop your contact information in the chat. So if someone says, oh, I want to connect with Diego after this, his information will be right there, and he or she could be connected. So Meg, let's start off with you. I'm going to go from my top, a little bit about Emerald and what your goals are. And keep it short, 30 seconds.
Yes, keep it short. All right. As I mentioned before, my name is Meg Ryan from Emerald Document Imaging. We are a family-owned and operated office technology company that specializes in Ricoh and Canon products such as copiers, printers, scanners, scanning software, anything in relation to document management. I support businesses of all sizes, ranging from 1 employee to 500 plus employees. One reason my clients choose to do business with me is because I like to save people money by doing cost assessments of their technology, whether it's looking at a copier lease, analyzing spending on supplies, looking at time waste on problems, and just getting them the right fit for their business and providing top-notch service so they don't have to worry about these things. Thank you so much for having me today. I hope I was under 30 seconds.
28, perfect. Mr. Fox, who is our featured speaker of the day. I know he's sitting on the edge of his seat waiting to speak, but if you'd like to give a little pitch as well.
Yeah, I'll give a little 30-second. My name is Tyler Fox. I'm a senior project manager at JM2 Architecture, and you'll be hearing a little bit more about me today, so I appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you, Tyler. And Alex, a little bit about UBS, besides that you're sponsoring the awesome Islanders coming to Belmont?
Yeah, that thankfully I paid for all that, so you can just thank me and send me your clients. No, I'm a financial advisor with UBS. I'm part of a team there, really focused on working with individuals and privately owned business owners, helping people understand that there are different ways to go about it to be able to retire the way you want to, and not have to wake up in the middle of the night thinking about money and how I'm going to get there. So anything from investments to insurance to buying and selling real estate businesses, really enjoy helping people succeed.
Thank you, Alex. Angela, People's Alliance Federal Credit Union.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Angela Perone from People's Alliance Federal Credit Union. I know I've met a lot of you before, but it's nice to see some new faces as well. I'm the Business Development Coordinator at the credit union, and so my role is to offer our benefits and our products and services to companies throughout the tri-state area. And, you know, I'm here today because I'm excited to meet all of you and network, and I cannot wait to get back in person with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Angela. Mr. Tim, the quietest man in the group.
Oh, I can't live up to that billing. Good morning. My name is Timothy Wan. I'm the CEO of Smith Crow Levy Wan and Parikh, a division of the Wan Law Group. We are creditors' rights and collections attorneys. We help small businesses. That's what my passion is making sure small businesses are set up properly and protected. We get their contracts set up, and if people breach that contract, if their customers or clients do that, we sue them, and we go after them to get you paid. We are the ideal selection for your legal collection.
I like that tagline. And remember, if you guys want to put your information in the chat so people could reach out, please don't forget to do so. Mr. Lore.
Hi, everybody. I'm Tom Lohr, Executive Vice President, TechWorks Consulting, also Hype supporter and TechWorks brand ambassador. Connor, I'll tell you more about what we do.
Thank you, Tom. Mark, once again, good to see you, my friend.
Good morning, Dr. Mark Miller. I am probably the oldest person I know. Tony's not on the screen, so he and I may be close in terms of the oldest person on the screen in Hype. I am a professional coach. I am a psychologist by background and training. It was a real turning point for me when I came to my first Hype meeting, and Adam and I have become close, as many of you have with him over the past year or two, or whatever it's been. And the energy of Hype is amazing. So I hope you guys can keep it up. What I do is I work with a variety of people, professionals, executives in organizations, managers in organizations, and just regular people. Some people think you're a business coach. A lot of business coaches out there. I don't coach people on how to run their business. I coach people on how to deal with who they are as people and how they relate to other people. And I think that's the essence of every business. Mark Miller, thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Andrew.
Hey, good morning, guys. Andrew Sajace. I'm with MTech Consulting Engineers. We are located in Ronkonkoma. We design building systems, so HVAC, electric, fire protection, plumbing. One of the important things I know a lot of people have been focusing on about getting back to work is HVAC in terms of COVID and protection and filtration and ventilation. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I've been giving a lot of advice and helping people go back to their offices safely and reopen.
Excellent. Thank you, Andrew. Mr. Simon.
Hi, everybody. I'm Dan Simon. I'm the owner of SignWave. Signs are cool. Signs are beautiful. Signs are important. You really see the importance of signs when you see a bad sign. So our motto is no ugly signs, no bad signs. We really care about making the signage inside a building, outside a building, as beautiful and as informative and as reflective of the company's brand and presence as it possibly can be. Happy to talk to any of you. Come on over when you feel comfortable to see what signs really are, because you might think you know what they are, but I will open your eyes to vehicle wraps or other kinds of cool things that are technically signs that you might not think of. Thanks.
Or feel free to drive past the TechWorks office and see all the excellent vinyls he put out on our windows out front. Thanks, Dan.
Thank you. They are both a customer and a vendor of mine, and they do a great job.
And a friend.
Oh, of course, most important.
Scott, thanks for showing up today.
Good morning. Thanks for having me. It's nice to see a lot of familiar faces in here. My name is Scott Migden. I'm sitting here in my office in Garden City. I'm a criminal defense attorney working on cases ranging from speeding to murder. So that involves low-level traffic tickets, going through a stop sign, driving while intoxicated, all the way up to big felony drug sales. We do free consultations. Everything's confidential, of course. While our office is here in Garden City, I'm going to be appearing virtually in Suffolk County District Court. Any minute, I might have to leave the meeting a little early, or I'll have to figure that out as I get closer to the time. We have cases in Westchester involved theft for more than $500,000, so we're all over New York State, and we have a lot of DWIs in Suffolk County right now. So it's very nice to see a lot of familiar faces. I look forward to getting to know you guys better and all the new faces. And also feel free to check us out on Instagram at AJS Law and at Defense Attorney Dining. Thank you for having me, and thanks for the invite, Connor.
I'm glad you mentioned that. I was going to make sure you indicated your dining Instagram in the chat as well. Appreciate it, Scott. Cody, good morning.
Morning, everyone. Thanks, Connor. I'm Cody from Island Elevator. I'm a sales team leader. I've actually been there for like 2 years. I'm with the largest elevator company to exclusively service Long Island. And being in the industry for 2 years, I've been doing sales for about 10. I realize that not too many people are terribly happy with their elevator company, and kind of gets in their way of what they do from day to day. So hopefully taking that off people's plates and building connections, and yeah, hopefully through this I can learn what you guys do and kind of help out to similar industries.
Thank you, Cody. Diego, Mr. Dale Carnegie.
Thank you, Connor, and thank you, Meg. We welcome you with open arms. And Tyler, I'm excited to hear more about your story. Diego Bees, I'm with Dale Carnegie. I'm the regional performance consultant and also a producer for our online training. And we focus on really creating key performing professional trainings in the areas of leadership, sales, presentations, human relations, and other professional core areas. We do coaching, public training, private training for all types of companies, and I'm just happy to be a part of HYPE and happy to be able to spend the morning with all of you. So thank you, Connor.
Thanks, Diego. Rick, the sharp dressed man.
Hey, Connor. Well, rather than plug myself, I want to take this time to plug the Hype Squad, and I want to congratulate Meg, welcoming her to the team. Finally, we got a good-looking leader on our team. Just kidding, Connor. You guys are great. But Adam and Greg had asked me to sit on the team a couple of years ago. I don't know what happened. I was 27, and now all of a sudden I'm 57. But it's been a great ride with them, and I'm going to miss them. But however, great to see everyone, and really looking forward to working with the group and moving forward. And see you soon.
Thanks, Rick. Francisco
Cunha, owner. Yeah, I know, right? Francisco Cunha, owner of Bigode, a video production content creation company. We like to share stories in a cinematic way. We deal with small businesses up to corporations like Northwell Health. And I'm currently in development of a television show for special needs. So if anyone is within that community or knows someone who has, please reach out. We're trying to do as much research as we possibly can before we go ahead and release the show.
Thanks, Francisco. Good to see you again. Ada, am I saying that right? Ada, maybe?
Yes. Hi. Sorry. My name is Ada Koivola. I am a new employee at Young Equipment Solutions in Hauppauge. I guess I can't really say I'm new because I just celebrated my 1-year anniversary, but it still feels like I'm new because I just got to meet everybody in the office. It seems like just a few months ago. I started 4 days before we had to work from home. So that was quite the interesting first year. Young Equipment Solutions is a concept to completion equipment sales company for hospitals, schools, libraries, and other businesses. And I'm an administrative assistant, and I also do all of our marketing, and I also run 2 small businesses of my own.
Excellent. Welcome. Mikola, Teachers Federal Credit Union.
Good morning, everyone. Good to see you all. Ada, I had the same experience. I just celebrated my 1 year with teachers back in February. So I started literally a month before everything locked down. So it was a very interesting time. I'm the membership development officer for teachers. So my goal is to spread the teachers' mission, bring on new members, and form strategic partnerships with organizations across Long Island. So if you're looking to have teachers on your side, give me a call.
Thanks, Mikola. Mr. Borelli, are you behind the...
Good morning,
There you are.
Tony Borelli. I'm the co-chair of the Building Business Committee along with Dan Simon. And welcome, Meg. My advice to you is the key to success at HIA committee is to have a good co-chair. And you got one, so you're in business. I'm a financial advisor and a registered investment advisor. I help individuals, families, and business owners with their personal financial planning. You heard me talk about a tagline, and one of my clients is a hairdresser, and they have this fabulous hair tagline which says, if your hair is not becoming to you, you should be coming to us. And I wish I could come up with something as clever as that. So I say, I help you get to the point where work is optional. Thank you, Tyler. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Connor.
Thanks, Tony. Always a pleasure. Mr. Schneiderwin.
Good morning. How's everybody doing? Sad to see Adam go, but very excited for Meg taking on the torch here. It's going to be a great addition to the leadership team here with Connor. It's been a great journey. I've been able to be a part of the HYPE advisory squad since the beginning, and I'm glad I can still catch some of these meetings when time allows it. Basically, I'm John Schneiderwin. I'm the Director of Business Development and Communications for Suffolk County's Department of Economic Development and Planning. What I do for the county ranges from, right now, it's predominantly helping businesses with COVID recovery, whether that's financial assistance or business support, really bringing awareness to what opportunities are out there, but also to help make sure that industry is still thriving here in Suffolk County, and that businesses are still looking to relocate here, and to also assist businesses grow here. So it's a pretty broad and large task, but it's great to have somebody, to know that somebody is here in the county with that type of a focus to help our businesses thrive. And really glad to see everybody here on the call. And if you want to learn more about what opportunities are out there, whether it be grants, financial opportunities, or business support during this time, please feel free to reach out. Be happy to help you.
Thank you very much, John.
Have a good day, everybody.
Appreciate it. Okay. And I'm going to share my screen very quickly. Okay, so again, very quick. Just want a quick shout out to the advisory squad, we like to call them, most of which are on the call. If it wasn't for these people behind the scenes helping with the creativity, the programming, and everything in between, Hype wouldn't be what it is today. So quick shout out to all of you. Thank you very much for your time, effort, and commitment to the group. And if I can at this point, I would like to toss it over to Mr. Juan, who is our event master, and he will introduce today's speaker.
Oh yeah, all right. First thing we're gonna do is I want everybody to do this. I want everyone to come off mute. Do it, no excuses. And as Jason Hershkowitz would do, I want on the count of 3, I'm gonna count down 3, 2, 1, and I want everyone to give a big high-pitched woo, all righty? 3, 2, 1, woo! Okay, now, today, how do you stay happy? How do you stay happy? A big part of that's work-life balance, or a better term that everyone's been using, or especially Hype, is work-life integration. I could say for myself in 2019, I spent 4 or 5 nights a week out, networking dinners, events, trade shows, traveling. I did the best to make time for my family, and I forgot about seeing all my friends socially. That never happened. Over the last year, I was forced to change and adapt, and I think we all were, right? For months, home, but home every night with my wife and kids every single night for dinner. So it took a pandemic, right, to give me a better work-life balance or integration. You know what? There's someone in our ranks, in our group right now. We have a Hype Squad member. He's got this on lock. He knows how to do it. He's done it. What's his secret? I'm kicking you off for the screen share for a second, for 1 second, Connor. And here we go. I'd like to introduce everybody. Mr. Tyler Fox from J2M Architecture.
Wait, that's me. Thanks so much, Tim. I appreciate that that intro and everyone's warm welcome. So my name's Tyler Fox. It's so great to see so many familiar faces. And you know what? I'm honored to be here and talk to you guys a little bit about my, I guess, tips for work-life integration, work-life balance. Like Tim said, a year ago today, things were so different, but this year's taught me so much. And I think I'd like to just share some of my tips of how I really was able to get through last year and what we're going through right now with a positive mindset, and how I've been able to do that.
And Connor, you can have the screen share. I had to do that for Tyler's walk-in music. I don't know how well it came through, but
it didn't really come through for me.
All right.
All right, Tim. No worries at all. No worries at all.
So as
next time we do it live, I'll have the speaker blasting it for you.
So as we wanted to highlight Tyler a little bit, we found some I don't want to say embarrassing pictures, but some pictures of Tyler from his past. Baby Tyler, we like to call it. So we'll go through a couple and maybe just talk to him a little bit.
I love it. So where'd you get these photos, Connor? Are you stalking my Facebook? So
We're a tech
this
company, don't worry about
was yeah. So this was me in 2014 giving my final thesis presentation for my degree in architecture. So for those of you who don't know me as well, I'm a project manager at J2M Architecture. Spent the last 7 years here on Long Island working with J2M in the the field of architecture and design. I graduated with a 4-year degree from Alfred State College, which is out in the middle of nowhere, Western New York. And this was me giving my final presentation, my thesis presentation on the concept of natural light in design. It was focused on the emotion that's brought on by natural and artificial lighting, art installations, and it was a museum dedicated to the use of light. It was a very interesting kind of concept and kind of a very, I would say, impressive presentation. That was a board that spanned maybe 12 feet by 6 feet, and it was about an hour and a half long presentation. So this was me in 2014 giving that presentation. You say baby Tyler, but to be honest, I didn't grow very much since then. That was pretty much it. I'm a musician. You see 3 guitars behind me. I spent a lot of time playing guitar. This is me and my my bandmate James. I don't know if any of you had the opportunity to come see us before last year. We had stopped playing due to the pandemic, but one of my greatest passions is music. I've been playing guitar for about 15 years, inspired by my dad's music, his cassettes and his records, Beatles, Pink Floyd, Queen, all the classic rock stuff, and picked up guitar, and I haven't put it down. So this is one of my greatest passions, and certainly look forward to getting back to playing again. I wouldn't call this an embarrassing photo either. I think these are pretty good photos. But
there was one I had that was very young of you, and I actually decided against putting it in. So that was the only one in my head that was embarrassing. Not embarrassing. So I take that piece back.
Yeah,
is that barbecue in Patchogue?
That's barbecue. What gave it away?
The barbecue. I've only heard of it. I haven't tried. I had to piece together a couple of the letters.
You know what? Barbecue's a great restaurant. I'm here in Patchogue, so I love the local restaurants down here. But you can definitely find us playing. And this was at an event for Brandon Giddison and the Unicorn Network and his LLS efforts last summer. I'm a big craft beer guy. One of the things I kind of keep maybe under the radar, unless you follow me on Instagram. I've had over 5,500 different craft beer. Tom Lore knows this. Actually, we talk about it often. So this is me and the Long Island Craft Beer Guide at the event, just trying some different brews. So I traveled the world for beer too. I've spent time in Germany for Oktoberfest. I was in Ireland for St. Patrick's Day, and I've waited online for as long as 8 hours to try beer out in California. So, there you go.
I didn't put this one in the slideshow. I felt it may not have been as professional, but I found that one too.
Everyone here knows me at this point. You know, that was me after a 5K. I was a little thirsty.
Love it. And that is what we have. So I'll toss it back over to Tim. I know you have some pretty good questions for Tyler.
Sure. So let me set the table this way that I'm going to be asking some questions. I asked some people beforehand to preload me with some questions for Tyler about work-life integration. But if you've got something you're too embarrassed to ask him, boxes or briefs, put it in the chat to me and I'll ask it. But we're going to get right to it. So Tyler, the first question is, what brought you to Long Island?
So I'm going to tell you my story, which is kind of interesting. So really what brought me to Long Island is my career and work at JM2 Architecture. But I was accidentally and mistakenly brought into architecture. So let me explain it. I was in high school. This was, 2008. And I was very into math. I was taking Calc 1, Calc 2 in 11th grade. I was so set on being a math teacher. That was my passion, teaching others math, the whole thing. And I wanted to focus on the engineering side of math. Certainly like someone like Andrew, this would have been a path he took as well. And I wanted to take an engineering course in high school that they weren't offering. So they put me in an architecture course thinking it was about the same thing. And I took one step in architecture class and I'm like, what the hell is this? Architecture? I don't want anything to do with architecture. I want math, I want science. And they said, you know what, just stay in it for a little bit, see how you feel. And if you want out, you can be out. But meanwhile, I had enough study halls already, so I decided to stay in it for a little bit. I ended up falling in love with architecture. And for me, it was the balance between the art side of things and the technical side. So I was still able to use my math and science background, but I was able to use geometry and art and those types of more creative aspects. And being a musician, which I always like to refer to music, I was a musician. I was also already very creative in a sense. And I just kind of really fell in love with it. My teacher at the time was from the first graduating class of Alfred State College School of Architecture. And he influenced me to check out Alfred State. And that's ultimately where I ended up for my 4-year degree. Met my best friend, Keith, there at Alfred State, who's from Huntington. And again, a change in my course. I wanted to go to Boston to get my master's in architecture at Northeastern. Had a scholarship pretty much ready to go until the spring break of my senior year. My friend Keith said, you know what, my firm's hiring and they'd love to meet you if you want to take a move down to Long Island. And from me, I'm from upstate New York. I'm from Orange County in the Hudson Valley. Long Island was not nearly close to anywhere I was thinking I would end up. I was more of a city guy. I knew I didn't want to be in the Hudson Valley, but Boston is where I wanted to be. And I came down here. I met my bosses, John and James, and I ended up moving down here. And it's honestly one of the best decisions that I've made. Certainly there's no bad decision. You kind of make the best of it, and certainly I have, and I've loved it. So that's my story. That's how I ended up on Long Island and in architecture.
So what's the most exciting aspect to you about being an architect?
There's so much to it, which is why I love it. I think the most exciting part is being able to bring people's their imagination and their dream designs to life, And I spoke to Adam on his Game Changers show at the Colca studio, which was a lot of fun. And I spoke about the same thing. Is there's something, just so unique about being able to take someone's idea and take someone's concept of what they want to do and put it on paper and have that actually constructed. You're designing habitable spaces. So the most exciting part is, without a doubt, working with someone to create a design, but then have that design become real life, and to really be a part of it, to stand inside of one of your buildings is really kind of unbelievable. So
what's the dream
for me?
What's the dream project?
That's a great question. I've always wanted to.
By the way, all of these questions, he has no idea what I'm asking. I mean,
I've never heard these questions, and if anyone else has just a random question, please, I'd love to answer. I know you do. I'm excited. No, but really, my dream project is a museum, and for me, it's one of the most, I guess, simplest expression of architecture and design in the use of materials, in the use of natural and artificial lights. That's what's inspired my senior thesis for when I got my degree was just the way that you display art. And I've always loved visiting museums. I've been to so many around the world, and I would say that's a dream project. That'd be pretty cool.
Got it. So are there any industry misconceptions people have about architects and architecture about the industry?
You know what? I think one of the biggest misconceptions is that it's completely based on either math, which for me it really isn't. That's more of something like the engineering side of things. Like I said, there's not as much math as people would think, and it's not all about the pretty buildings. Very little of what I do is designing pretty pictures and making these pretty projects. We do a lot of things like fire and water damage restoration work. We do a lot of variances and legalization work, which you think about architecture, the last thing you think about is someone's deck that is too close to their property line that needs to get a variance. But that's such a majority of what we do. And I think that's what a lot of people don't realize is kind of that more technical side of things.
Okay, so you kind of alluded to it already. You've talked about your love for art and your love for the sciences and math, and there's definitely correlation in your architecture. But there's also that correlation in music too, because people say music is an art, but if you don't understand the math of music, you're not going to succeed at all. Right?
So true. That's so true. And I some of you might have heard me say this before. Music is so similar to design and architecture because it starts with learning the technical aspects of that subject. So for me, for music, you learn how to listen to music, you learn how to hear music and hear notes. And when you're learning an instrument, you tend to try to pick up on some of those things. once you learn the technical aspect of reading and writing music, then you're able to be a little more creative with it. So for me, some of the most, fun times I've ever really played guitar or music in general is when you're just kind of jamming. They say jamming, it's just free flowing music. You're just kind of playing when everyone knows what they're doing. It's just a lot of fun, but you have to really know how to do that. So for me, that's the same with architecture. A lot of it's code based, the New York State code, the town codes, everyone's telling you how you have to design. But once you learn how to fit within that parameter of what the towns and the villages and everyone wants you to do in the codes, then you can have more fun with it. Once you know how to design, then you can just really be creative with the design. So I found it to be so similar. And cooking too. I love to cook, and I say it's very similar to cooking. And my 10th grade professor, or my sophomore year professor in college, would tell me the same thing. Architecture is a lot like cooking. Once you learn the proportions and the ingredients, and if you're baking, there's a certain amount of this, and you understand how to cook, then you could be more creative with it. You don't need a recipe after that point once you learn how to do it. So they all kind of intertwine in that way, and that's why I've always fell in love with it.
Sounds like your secret, your skill, your secret sauce to work life and healthy work life integration is that you're finding things you're passionate about that are both leisure and work that kind of all correlate together.
100%. 100%. And, that kind of leads us into the main topic, which is how do you find that balance? And for me, one of the biggest things was to find something that I really loved, take the time to just continue with that. I mean, like you said, about a year ago, just before, life gets so busy, life gets so crazy, you're running around, you don't have time to spend time on yourself. And that's probably the number one, is finding something that you're passionate about and using that as kind of like that outlet to just express yourself and not have to think or worry about the everyday work and stress. So for me, that was absolutely music.
How'd you learn to play the guitar?
I'm self-taught, believe it or not. So wow. You know what? I took one lesson when I was maybe 15. And I didn't like it at all. And I just taught myself. And you know what it is? You kind of just pick it up. There's a lot of patience, a lot of time. I know a lot of people who have tried to play guitar. Certainly anyone here, if you're looking to play or you want to play, reach out to me. I've been doing, some one-on-ones with the guitar and trying to teach some basic stuff. But it's just a lot of patience. You really got to stick to it. But I am self-taught. And you know what? The pandemic was an opportunity for me, like I said, to pick it up again and really, focus on learning and just be creative in that way.
Right. All right. So now I'm going to go to some of the more loaded questions. By the way, I've been hitting people's questions out of order, not in the order that they were sent to me, but in the order that I felt would feel right. What kind of industry do you find is the industry you like to work with, and what industry do you have challenges or difficulties with?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many industries that we work with. I mean, it's part of being where I am, which is really cool, is you get to meet so many different types of people in so many different fields. I think some of the most fun projects are some of the more modern office renovation type work. We've been doing a lot of office renovations now because of COVID, changing the way the office environment is. And really some of the restaurant work we've done is a lot of fun because it's just an extra touch of something that's unique. It's not the everyday type of project. And to be honest, I've found a love for the commercial side of things. I love working with business owners. I love seeing work environments and those types of spaces. For me, it's been a challenge doing some of the more residential work. Not that it's, we certainly do it within our office, but me personally, it's just been a challenge doing some of the residential work. And you know what it is though? It's such a different wavelength of work when you're working on someone's home. It's just another aspect of that just personal touch that is really important, that I really love. But something's always just brought me to the commercial world. Okay.
I mean, so one of the struggles is if it's you're really passionate about your work, you love doing what you do. I love doing what I do too. But then how do you avoid the 14-hour days of just working because you love it? You're passionate about it.
You know what it is, and it's so cliche, but you really just got to find the time to step away, and it's so important to, it's so easy to just get wrapped into work like 24/7 almost, checking your emails. find time to have a healthy sleep cycle. I've always been, and that was always something that I learned throughout college too, because you think of architecture school, you think of late nights in the studio, all-nighters was, it was a word that's just thrown around so quickly, but I've never had an all-nighter. I'm one of the few that didn't in my field. And it's really just because of time management, and that goes the same for work now. And I would give presentations to college students also when I left college about some of the tips that I had during that time. And it's the same now, really comes down to just setting a time to sleep for whatever works for you, 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours. For me, it's 7 hours at least is good for me. So I set the time to turn off the TV, turn off the phone at night, and get a good sleep schedule, and then just be ready to go in the morning. But really, you just got to focus on stepping away from the phone and stepping away from the work, which is hard to do when you've got so much to do, which we all are getting really busy now, which is so great. But that's where I turn to music and cooking. I love to cook, so I make that time, turn everything off, and I'm cooking for an hour, having dinner, and then playing some guitar. So it goes a long way just to spend a few hours every day, and to help in the long run for sure.
Yeah, I know, like when things are crazy during the pandemic and I was working exclusively from home, I one of the things I did is I still got dressed. You joke, a lot of people, I'm sure a lot of you were wearing, pajamas all day. People joke about, maybe wearing a dress shirt and then boxers and pajama bottoms. But I felt like, if I'm going to go from one room to another, I'm still going to go put on some dress pants, put on a dress shirt, maybe even put on a tie and get there, even if I didn't have a Zoom scheduled, right? And then that way I knew when I took that tie off, I took off that dress shirt and put on my t-shirt and shorts, all right, now it's leisure time. Now I'm going to go play with my kids, right? So there is that. I know, and I see you working. You're at home right now, it looks like, right? Or are you?
Yeah, no, it's my office.
Oh, this is your office. Oh, you've got the guitars in your office. Awesome. But I mean, I do see a lot of people in backgrounds that appear that they're at home. So, I think that's a struggle to find that way to delineate, whether it's 5 o'clock on a Friday, you make sure that you block your emails to your phone so you can't work over the weekend.
And that's it. And you know what? There was never a time when I didn't break that routine. In middle of March last year, you're working at home. I still woke up the same time. I still got ready. I was still in my routine to get dressed. And it just gave me a little more time to focus on other things. Maybe I'll start work a little earlier if I'm at home, but breaking that routine would have been probably one of the worst things I could have done. I know a number of people who they're working at home, they wake up 5 minutes to 8, roll out of bed and they just sit at the computer all day. But, I make it a point to get ready, not to lose that mindset of working,
Right. So what brand are your boots?
What brand are my boots? My boots are Taft. They are handcrafted in Spain. They're a company based out of and shipped from Utah, and they're gorgeous boots. I have 2 pairs.
Tom, jealous. And you said that you did a 5K. How do you stay fit, especially with all the beer? Because I know that I struggle with that.
I don't. No. It's tough. It's tough. Like Tom and a lot of I'm big into craft beer. I think one of the most important parts is to having a good balance of work life is just taking care of yourself physically. And that includes sleeping, a good sleep schedule. It includes eating right. And it includes exercise. It includes the 5Ks. It includes limiting the alcohol. It's easier when, and for me, it was a social thing when you're out at events and you're meeting people at dinners and it's just a constant go, to really step back and limit that and exercise regularly. That was just something that, to be honest, I never really did until the pandemic. And it's really helped me, physically and just overall mentally, just to get a walk or a run in on my lunch break and just do a little cardio really helps.
What do you know today that you wish you knew 5 years ago and you can't say that COVID was coming?
You know what? I think COVID was, and I wouldn't say that I would have wished I knew COVID was coming. I think we were in a good position to be flexible in any capacity. So I think it was important for us whether or not, and you know what? It was for us, it was based on being ready for snow days. We would get ready to make sure we're working at home on snow days. That's kind of what prepared us for COVID. But what do I wish I knew? I mean, it's so hard to say, especially in the design world. Maybe that I wish. I'm in the process right now, for a lot of you who don't know, of taking my exams to become a licensed architect. I think looking back, that's something I wish I would have known, is the amount of time it would actually take me to get to this level, get to this step, because that's the next big hurdle for me. And that's something I've been taking a lot of time this past year to do, is study for my exams, something that maybe I should have been doing a little earlier. And by earlier, I mean, I've been working for 7 years. I think it's important to, once you step right into the profession, to start that journey so you can kind of be ready at a certain time. But there's not a lot that I wish I knew. I try to stay with a positive just mindset and just look forward.
For a guitar playing beginner, acoustic or electric?
You know what? It's I would say acoustic. I started playing bass, so when you start with the bass guitar, for those of you who know instruments, a bass has much thicker strings and you're kind of using your hands to push down a little harder. So with the bass, you kind of learn to work your finger muscles and your wrist muscles to really be able to play the guitar. I think when you learn on an electric guitar, the strings are much thinner and much easier to push down. With the acoustic guitar, I think that's the perfect instrument to begin. So you can develop those muscles and those calluses with the acoustic guitar, and then it makes the electric so much easier.
All right. Where do you see yourself in 20 years?
20 years, I'll be 49 years old. I'm 29 right now. 20 years, I will, I see myself working, living on Long Island, being a partner at J2M Architecture, which I'm on a path to be right now, which I'm very grateful and excited for. But really just making a difference in others' lives. I love being a part of the community. I love being a part of different organizations and professional networks. So definitely just continuing with that path.
Who's your favorite member of the Hype Squad? And you can't say me because that's unfair.
That is just an unfair question completely.
I know, that's why I asked.
There's no favorites. There's no favorites.
All right. So any tips or takeaways? Any big takeaways for us for time management, work and networking, exercise, music? What's the takeaway? What's your key?
Plan a schedule, but not fill up your calendar completely. Save a little bit of time for breaks in between. I use my calendar so often, and I'm sure a lot of us do. Everything's in my calendar. If it's not in my calendar, I typically forget about it. But try to have time between meetings, time before and after, morning and night in your day. Don't completely fill up your calendar, but have some kind of, be flexible in that, but have some kind of routine and some kind of schedule set. For me, I set the schedule, but within a certain parameter. So if it's like 6 p.m., after 6 p.m., I'm spending time doing other things. And like I said, it's easier said than done for a lot of us. But for time management, that's just always what worked for me. And plan your week too. If it's a Sunday night or a Monday morning, think about your week ahead and how you're going to balance your time.
Yeah, I'll jump in and to answer that question as well. I don't have my emails on my phone that push to the mail app. I have the Outlook app. I actively don't look at that app. There's no notifications, no red number that pops up. And so my regular email comes to my personal email with, coupons to Best Buy or whatever, comes to the mail app. But if I'm going to do work, then I'm doing work. And I can just actively not look at that Outlook app and not log in. I think that's a big tip that I like to give for finding that disconnect time. And I think the other thing is now, this is my complaint. Calls, telephone calls, quick phone calls, they happen much less frequently for me because everybody wants a Zoom call. All clients want a Zoom call now. Everybody wants a Zoom call, and they're scheduled for 30-minute intervals. So things like that. Now, obviously, this would have been a meeting in person had it been pre-COVID. We would have been all together. We'd be cheering on Tyler. We'd be doing a big round of applause, and my intro music for you would have worked. However, that being said, all these calls that are happening over Zoom are swallow up your day, and then you end up working a 14-hour day. So what I've been doing, and I'll just give my little trick, is I always plan 1 day a week, no Zoom calls, no matter what. No Zoom, no conference calls, nothing scheduled, so I can work if I need to, or if I need to leave early, or that's the day that if the poo hits the fan in the office, that's the day I have capacity, as opposed to filling all of my time. And then when that crisis occurs and I've got to put the fire out, now I'm going more, and I'm going and I'm burning my extra candle. So that's kind of my little trick, and I wanted
That's
to
a tip that I love. I love that. Plus, in a world of Zoom, in a world of phone calls more so than ever, you have the ability to do that. You're saving so much time not being in the car. That is, I love that that aspect of just being at home for the most part. Is you save a lot of time, and you're more able to, be flexible and move that around. So
yeah, I definitely. I mean, I saw that arc. At the beginning, I was going, "Wow, I don't have to run around anymore." The 40 minutes in the car, or then the attorneys in my office. One of my attorneys the other day did Schenectady at 9 a.m., Brooklyn at noon, and Riverhead at 3 p.m. That would never happen in a real. I'd be. I don't know what we would do in that situation. So obviously there were benefits, but I think the curve has shifted. That now every new client consultation, every meeting is a Zoom call. Everything's got to be scheduled out. And you look at my list. It's blocked solid from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. And I'm sure all of you are thinking the exact same thing. So Thursday I have no meetings. And I think that's my little takeaway tip. And I'm just gonna say, Tyler, is there anything you want to close with? Any takeaways?
Yeah, you know what? I just think a lot of this balance really at the end of the day comes down to your mindset and mental health. And it's something you hear so much now, in the news and everywhere. And that's another thing that I was thinking about is really to limit the news and limit the social media, because of we all know how crazy it can get and the effects of hearing all the negativity. So that's something that I've learned as well. But just to stay positive, at the end of the day, there's a lot that I tell myself. We're all in the same boat. There's a lot that we're not in control of. But your overall mental health, your overall positivity, something you can control. So that's kind of what I've been really thinking about the last year.
All right. Anything else for Tyler? Or I'm going to throw it back to Connor, our chair. All right. Thank you, Tyler. Thanks for all the wisdom, sharing your story, and inspiring us all.
And as you all know, I know so many of you, and I'm always welcome for little guitar lesson, any one-to-one. I'm always here to talk. So anyone who wants to reach out, please do.
All right, Connor, back to you.
Thank you very much. Great job, Tyler. Thank you very much, Tim, for moderating. Always fantastic, keeping everybody lively. The two takeaways I got, I have my emails separated, but I haven't really realized I had them separated. And I think subconsciously I'm doing what you guys are doing, and it is extremely helpful. I usually check one right after the other, but it's nice to keep them separated. And that 1 day, I'm assuming 1 day a week during the weekday is when you'd have no Zooms, no conference calls. I'm going to give that a shot.
Yeah,
because
and it's a random one too. It's not like every Friday, because that's never going to work out. If you tell yourself it's every Friday or something like that, no, because then you're going to get invited to some lunch, or there's going to be some meeting scheduled, or hype comes up or something like that, or there's some really good lecture you want to attend on Zoom, because you can now, right? So but when you look ahead, when you plan ahead at your next week, that's the day. All right, that's the day. So when people say, "Oh, what's your availability?" Nope, not that day.
I am going to give that a shot. I appreciate that. That was my favorite takeaway I think I got today. Well, thank you very much. Fantastic job, everybody. I did realize midway through, as I wanted to make sure all of you got a 30-second who you are, what you do, I didn't let any of you who don't know me what I do. So very quickly, 5 seconds. TechWorks Consulting, we are based out of Ronkonkoma. We're a technology solutions provider, helping companies be more productive and profitable through technology. So with that said, our next meeting for those who are interested is April 20th They are always 8:30 until about 10. We will be wrapping up a little bit earlier today, but we do want to make sure at all of the meetings going forward, everyone has that short amount of time to say who you are, what you do, and share your contact information. Can be a little difficult to network on Zoom, so we're looking at ways to change that and to keep at least some form of virtual networking possible. So that is all we have for today. I'm going to quickly put my information in the chat. If anyone wants to hang around, we'll keep the chat open for another 15 minutes. But it was a pleasure. Great seeing everybody. And until next time, so long, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks
I
a lot,
appreciate
guys.
it.
Take care, everybody. Good job, Tyler.
Thanks, Tom. See you later.
Didn't make
Good
you
job,
squirm
Tyler.
too much, Tyler.
Thank you, Tim. Thanks, Diego.
Hey, so Tyler, one quick question. Favorite
Absolutely.
craft beer for Long Island?
Favorite Long Island craft beer.
That's a great question.
I'm a big fan of the hazy IPA. So I like what Sand City's doing. I like what Root and Branch are doing. They're obviously more of a gypsy brewer. I think they're brewing out of Gray South Bay, but they're making some of the best hazy IPA stuff around right now. So and then Mustache and Uber Geek has always been two favorites of mine. They're out in Riverhead. So yeah, I think that's pretty much
Check that
it.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a
Maybe-
huge fan. I think it's been the one great part about not having to go anywhere is you get to sample all this stuff.
Right. Right.
And not have to go anywhere later on.
Well, you know what's really cool too is a lot of places are shipping beer. So, a lot of what you couldn't typically get down here now you can. So where I am from Orange County, there's a brewery called Equilibrium that makes excellent beer. They've been shipping around the state. Every time I'm up visiting my parents, I go there. And then even in Brooklyn, Queens, I mean, every block has a great brewery now. That's one thing I look forward to is getting back just to kind of walking around Brooklyn and trying out some of these new places. So
my roommate in college brewed beer in our room. It was my first experience.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how bad it smelled.
Yeah, I brewed beer right here.
Which
that was your
is,
roommate.
yeah, I mean, the CO2, whatever is coming out was, it smelled in our room for like a week after that. But
No,
it was
I mean, I
just
love
like,
it.
I
I think it
tried it. I was
smells
like,
great,
this is a
but-
whole new world. This is fantastic.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of time. It goes back into the being patient. I'm a very patient person. So, you got to really block off a day to brew it, block off another day after 2 weeks to bottle it or can it. It takes a long time, but it's worth it. I made some pretty good beer. I'm happy. I made like 5 different ones and been happy with all of them. So as a beginner, I like it. But you know what? At the end of the day, I like drinking it way more than making it. So I stopped.
Nice.
You like making buildings.
I like making buildings. I got to focus on protecting people instead of making beer.
You can make a building that has a brewery attached to it, and
You know what? I didn't think of that. It would be pretty cool to design a brewery. It would be pretty cool to do a brewery. Yeah.
do a brewery that has
Hauppauge Industrial Park.
a performance stage.
Yeah, I mean, the Hauppauge Industrial Park is a great spot for a brewery. I mean, I've traveled the country for beer, and a lot of these places are just kind of stuck in the middle of industrial parks. They open up the garage door and they just, you kind of hang out, and those are some of the best spots. So
Yeah.
that's what it needs.
Well, why don't you do a museum about beer? I mean, you want to do a museum, right? Beer. I mean, what else can you ask for?
All right.
Go.
And Tony Joy, isn't TriTech working on a brewery in 49 Wireless? Is that still a thing?
I believe so. Yeah, there was
Yes.
looking at doing something like that, as well as